anybody that mocks these people that come forward and tell their stories, I'll be the first one to stand up and tell you to kiss my ass and kiss their asses too, because I'm telling you, these people gain nothing by telling their story.
All right, I got time for a quick story emailed in from a young lady. Okay, here we go. Steve, for the first time officially, I'm going to write this down. I hope you read it, because I promised 5 people in the comment section that I would. I'll start off by saying that I'm the oldest daughter of an avid outdoorsman and grew up hunting with my dad from about 6 years old. I spent many hours in the forest around here. I remember my father and his friends would go out at dark and hunt coyotes all night long. Many of my friends have been loggers and outfitters. Never in my life had the topic of Bigfoot or Sasquatch come up. No one I knew ever saw one or talked about it. I remember seeing a preview before of a movie on the Patterson picture, or Patty, but that was only once, and that was it. So here we go. Damn, oh, I do got the readers in my pocket. There we go, no more struggling. There's a lake near my home that everyone in the Bitterroot Valley, Montana spends their summers on. At some point, I discovered the water feels much warmer at night than it does in the day. At around 16 years old, I started a ritual of going skinny dipping after dark at least once every summer. Sometimes there was a group of us, other times it was only me. I was never afraid, it was just something I enjoyed doing. Fast forward 5 or 6 years from when my annual night swim began, it was a very hot July night with a super bright full moon. I was out with my friends having some drinks. My best friend and roommate at the time was the bartender. I'll call her Mary. We were discussing how bright the moon was, and I asked her if she wanted to go swimming at the lake after she closed. Her only concern was bears. I laughed and said, any bear would be far more afraid of us, and it would be gone as soon as it heard the car coming. She agreed. I helped her close up the bar, and we headed out for the lake. On the way up, Mary continued her, I don't know, what about bears? I'm scared, blah, blah, blah. I kept telling her there were no bears up here. I had never even seen a bear up here, etc. So I'll add in again, it was so bright from the full moon once we got off Highway 93 and onto the road that takes us to the lake. We were driving without our lights and could see the road clearly, and then would turn them back on and laugh and turn them off. Basically goofing around and having fun. When we drove over the small hill to the parking area of the lake, there wasn't one car in the parking lot, which made it perfect. Usually there'd be some creepy camper truck there with a camper on it, so you'd have to go up to a different spot other than the main beach area. But this night we didn't have to. We were the only ones up there. There's a circle that you drove around, and Mary parked right in the center of it, with the back of the car towards the water. As soon as she stopped, I bailed out of the car and began walking down to the lake. We were laughing and talking the entire time. She was still leery, taking her time. She only made it a quarter of the way to the water when I had reached the shoreline. It was at that moment she yelled at me, look over your right, Brenda, and tell me what that is in the water. It's really black, super black, and it's not a rock. I can see the rocks. Just tell me what it is and it'll come down. Now I'm getting pissed, but I still looked in the direction of my right and at the water's edge and could see the black thing she was referring to. The moon was shining on the lake like a spotlight. It was 40 to 50 yards away from me. It was not a rock and much blacker than any of the rocks. It was moving, doing something with its front paws in the water. I could see about 3 inches to 4 inches of hair on its back, and I instantly thought, oh my God, it's a bear. Unbelievable. I instantly thought, why isn't it moving or paying any attention to us? We were being very loud, laughing, yelling back and forth to each other. It looked huge, but had an odd shape, and I wondered what it was doing. I slowly began inching my way as close as possible, ready to run any second. I was straining my neck and eyes to figure out what it was doing. I was about 15 to 20 feet from it at the exact same moment. My brain thought, this is not a bear. And I could clearly see it was crouched in a position a human would be, with its hands between its legs getting a drink of water. The exact way you or I would, using our hands as a cup. It seemed, the second I thought this, it turned its head so fast at me and looked at me directly in the face. Without ever taking its eyes off me, it slowly stood up and up to the height of about 9 feet tall and squared its body up with mine. I'm 5'7", and it wasn't a face-to-face, it was a face-to-waist. My brain glitched out because I could not identify what it was. The eyes were black, with a look of complete, utter hate and evil in them towards me, or all humans. I don't know. I felt as though it wanted to rip my head off and kill me. Its face was flat with no hair on it, had a very strong brow ridge like a Neanderthal. The hair was so black and shiny, it almost looked like bluish black. It was yoked up like a bodybuilder, and it had to have been at least 4 feet wide. I could see the teeth were square and straight and a wide mouth. No neck, but the hair was thicker around where its neck would be. I froze in fear I never knew existed. I had my eyes locked onto his and thought I was going to die. I felt hot tears streaming down my face, but I couldn't move. All of a sudden, he took one step towards me. I heard Mary let out a blood-curdling scream. One or both snapped me out of my frozen state. I turned and ran as fast as I could up the hill to the car that was about 100 yards away. I caught up to Mary. She was halfway down the hill. We both bailed in the car, crying and saying, "What was that?" "I don't know. What do you think it was?" "I don't know. You tell me what you think it was." Finally, I said, "I think it's an effing Sasquatch." And she said, "Brenda, that's exactly what it was." And like that, we took off out of there, never looking behind us, never looking back. If it wanted to kill me, I would have been dead. I know it would rather have killed me than look at me, so I don't know why to this day it didn't. Mary told me never to tell anyone. 3 days later, I was telling about 15 people that knew about it. My father was a very well-known hunter in the area. They all know me and know I would never lie or make up something like this. One of the guys I was talking to or telling my story to was the mayor of the town I lived in. He pulled me to the side and said that he believed me because he was up there years ago with his girlfriend. He stepped out of the car to take a leak, and something that smelled so foul went right by him through the trees. He was scared to death. He left and never told anyone, not even his girlfriend. One thing I will add, there is no strong odor attached to the one I encountered. Feel free to use my name. I go by Montana on YouTube, and that's not my name, obviously. Best, Brenda Purveus. And there you go. There's another one. Thanks, Brenda. Thanks for being brave and saying your name. There's no reason not to anymore. There's just far too many people that know about these damn things now, and that's all there is to it. So, there you go. And as usual, take from it what you will. Think of it what you will. It is what it is, man. And for all you people that are demanding blatant proof or blatant answers, try to get your brain to start firing independently, okay? Because if you could think rationally and see clearly through the bullshit that's been embedded in your head, you would see that every single one of these stories that I share with all of you is actually proof that is being shared with you, okay? Now, you're going to have to get up that pot that's been making you think that you need facts delivered to you from some frickin' scientist or government group, because it's not the way it is. We're built to go out and find knowledge ourselves, and we are also supposed to take all of our knowledge from first-hand experienced people. That's where you get your knowledge from. It's passed on to you from members of your community who have experience in whatever topic it is you're seeking. All right?